A beautiful Monday morning, the 21st day of the 8th month of the year of our Lord 2023. My name is Kayode, and I bid you welcome to today's edition of Kayode and the Guru. Good morning to you wherever you are. Let's get ready to hear from the Guru, the national youth leader, the man with insight and the man with perspectives. Like he says, does it say it will be, what's that word he uses a lot of times? He says it's his own coinage of English. Will be not introspecting. Anyway, I'm sure he's going to use that word today. But together, let's welcome the Guru. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Kayode. How are you? How was your weekend?
I am finally periscoping. Yes, that's what I wanted to remember.
Okay, yes. In time it was that periscoping was seen as wrong English. But where we did further research, it is quite a very, very correct English to use. To periscope, it all stopped at periscope in those days. But today to periscope, you can periscoping. Even if you are not yet accepting it as a good English, the Oxford Dictionary might just adopt it as we speak. Because 2 years ago, the Oxford Dictionary adopted 24 Nigerian languages, including Buka, and made them an appropriate and adequately acceptable English worldwide.
Yeah.
Including Adecom.
Oh, really? Adecom is not English. I see.
Don't quote me too much on Adecom because I am not too sure if I don't have the liberty of denying you if you quote me too much. Mercy, you are talking to the microphone. The microphone. You don't have any microphone by your side there? Oh, there is none. Okay. Would you say good morning to the people? Introduce yourself. I am bringing you to the show so that when you are not doing it properly, the people will know how to hold responsible. And I can always shift. If I don't want to take responsibility like most of Nigerian leaders will do, I can always shift the blame on you. That is for mercy, but for mercy. So say hello to the people. Greet them.
Hi, good morning, Lagos. I'm Mercy by name. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. And a week ahead, hope it's going to be fine and good.
Okay. You are welcome. But you stop your greeting to Lagos, we have been listening to worldwide. So it goes beyond Lagos. This is Lagos Talks, the segment Kayode and the Guru, which we all have been waiting for. We are taking off. And we have taken off. So in a few minutes' time, you may want to put your bet off when we would have moved on to autopiloting of the plane. So now, let's start it this usual way because, like as I said, I promised that I will be spearheading. Thank God I'm not the only one in this. The illegal detention of Abdul Rashid Bawa, the former, the suspended executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC. Today, Monday, August 24th, 2023, Abdul Rashid Bawa, the suspended executive chairman of EFCC, has been in detention for 69 days. He has not been charged to court, neither has the federal government that detained him under the whatever. I don't know why he's been detained. I've not found it deemed necessary to send him to court so he could face his charges or alleged charges in the court of competent jurisdiction. And the good news is that a few days ago, not more than 48 hours ago, our own lawyer, Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria and advocate of the people of Nigeria and the only man standing in the crusade for social justice in Nigeria. They started very many when Ganifa Emin, their great-grandfather, was alive. There were so many here and there. But it's like Femi Falana is the only one standing. He spoke loudly about it, that every day, every hour, every minute, every second that counted after some days breach all rules and regulations, breach all ordinances, breach all constitutionalities, about illegal detention. The freedom of the man, either Africa Charter of Freedom or whichever of inherent, the one he brought from heaven or for which place we are coming from, have been totally violated. So the only thing remaining there is the continuous violation of his rights. So for this reason, what a brutal country are we in? A country that will not respect the rule of law? What might be responsible for the federal government to have meted this inhuman action against the man, having been arrested on June 14th, 2023, and have been kept then or since then in the Yellow House. The Yellow House is the detention place of DSSS. But we'll be told from the grapevine, because it's not official. This communication is not official because the DSS will not communicate to us about it, that it has been moved from the Yellow House to a DSS settlement. I don't know whether the settlement of DSS will look like Bin Laden. What's the full name?
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden camp in Pakistan. Osama was virtually liquidated in Pakistan. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Even if you don't answer me on time,
No.
I will answer for myself.
Yes, it was.
So, hashtag positive Nigerians are calling on the federal government under the presidency of Ahmed Bola Tinubu to charge him to court of competent jurisdiction immediately or release him. Hashtag positive Nigerians are mobilizing about 10 million signatures across the country to effect their demand in a peaceful protest, and which may include court action against the federal government. This is the news. Hashtag positive Nigerians are now mobilizing and obtaining signatures which they believe they could garner up to 10 million Nigerians across the country to embark on a peaceful protest for the release of Bawa, and including anticipatively that protest would be the possibility of going to court. And this 10 million in here will spread all through almost the 350 ethnicity groups in this country, spreading across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, coming from, I'm talking of the 10 million positive Nigerians,
Yes.
coming from the 774 local government across the states of the Federation. And where this happens, I think the goody fish will have no hiding place anymore. That is if the fish of the federal government can still be referred to as goody, because nothing goody about it anymore. Okay, Oluwakayode,
Yes, sir.
having come to this place, and the platform of the signature being obtained shall be announced within the next 14 days. So we anticipate that we'll be able to have up to 50 million, because people have offered their interest to sign into it. And the protest will be huge, but it's going to be a peaceful protest. And of course, there's no law that stops Nigerians not backing up
From
peaceful
protesting.
protest.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me the menu so that we quickly do what we can do and leave what we cannot do untouched? And today, before you bring the menu, I wouldn't know, because I wouldn't know between historical perspective and periscoping, which one are we holding higher. So let's have the menu and we take auto flight.
All right, so let's go through the 7 items we have in our menu: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Capsized oil rig operating illegally on Nigerian water since 2016. That is what the Masa is saying, quoted in the Guardian newspaper. Farmers abandon farms. 23 Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi local government under bandits. The Punch says that the farmers abandoned their farms, and 23 local governments in Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi are under the leadership or control of bandits. Tinubu names Minister of Niger Delta, reassigns portfolios. The nation leads with that. And federal government can generate 8 trillion naira yearly from marine blue economy. Agbakoba has that to say, as reported by The Nation. The fifth item here is how Tinubu's Minister of State for Defense governed Nigeria's most insecure state. Premium Times reports that. And the sixth, after subsidy removal, fuel consumption drops from 64.9 million to 52 million daily. That is according to the Nigeria and NMPDRA, a midstream downstream petroleum regulatory authority. And that's according to reported by the News Guru website. The seventh item is Niger. ECOWAS rejects a junta's 3-year transition plan.
Thank you very, very much. But permit me to ask you a question. When you were reading item number 6,
yes, sir.
You paused and you smiled and you laughed. Very, very cynic laughter, sort of. What prompted that? Can you just tell listeners?
Well, let me start this way. There is depot around Ojo area.
Okay.
Every single day of the week.
Is it Ojo of Lagos or Ojo of Ibadan?
Ojo of Lagos.
Okay.
En route border.
Okay.
Badagry border.
Okay.
Every single day of the week between I don't know if you say barracks and Abule Ado, moving towards Alakija. There are tankers on the way every single day. At times, the outer lane, the tankers park side by side and they take the entire road, the lane, such that no car can move in or out.
Okay.
They even extend to the major road and line up one straight line, form one straight line formation there.
Okay.
Now, since subsidy removal, I dare say that I have not noticed that chaotic lineup again.
Okay.
And the
it has suddenly vanished?
Suddenly vanished.
But it's subsidy that was removed, not vehicles.
Not vehicles.
Okay.
And they are supposed to be distributing fuel. So they can buy fuel and distribute fuel. It shouldn't cost them that much. But the question is, were these tankers really supplying Lagos users? Or were they supplying elsewhere? Were these tankers supplying Lagos users? Or were they supplying elsewhere? These are questions that we're yet to. So when we hear that the consumption has really gone down by 12 million, the majority of cars, I believe, will be found in Lagos. I mean, concentration. How this 12 million, are we going to see more reductions announced that maybe withdraw finally to 20 million? And this 12 million so far that is said to have been saved, were they saved on the amount? Was it saved by Nigerians or by those that buy it off Nigerians?
Okay, thank you very much. Because the way you smile, I look at your face in the studio, but listener, they wouldn't see your face. That's why I ask you to. Now, let us do justice. I shall spend more time on the last item, which is Niger. ECOWAS rejects junta 3-year transition plan. Now, I shall spend more time on that because that is where the historical perspective will be coming in, and that is where the narration shall be dealt with seriously, which shall be resulting into dealing with periscoping the issue at hand. So, is today our magazine topic.
All right.
So, but item 1 says capsized oil rig operating illegally on Nigeria water since 2016. Since Nimasa. The question is that if we are not in a country that leaders are met to force the followers, the citizenry, and to force FOOLS, and leader, okay, leaders to fool, not fools, and to keep on telling us lies and never to release facts, because facts are fundamentally detrimental to sources of illegal collection or fraud. The rig that have been operating in Nigeria, I think Saplet, it is within the area of Sapele, not even worry, but
the company,
yes,
Seplat.
Yes, Seplat.
Yes.
It operates within the regions of, within 2 local governments, most importantly, because Okpe Kingdom is the only kingdom in the whole of Delta State that has 2 local governments. All the remaining ones are 1 local government, or you see
one shared between 2.
You see about 20 kingdoms in 1 local government. But Okpe Kingdom and the king of Okpe Kingdom, the traditional ruler of Okpe Kingdom, are they really rulers? I don't know. Do they rule?
Well, that's the sobriquet. That's how we normally call them.
Okay.
The
Is
king.
Major General Felix Mujakpero, a retired Major General of the Nigerian Army, a man who succeeded in bringing end to that big conflict in Liberia, and because he was the last commander of Liberia, of Ecomog. In fact, up to now, for those who knew him, they call him Father Ecomog. Father Ecomog. That is Major General Felix Mujakpero. After putting an end to the activities of Liberia, Sierra Leone came up. And of course, the federal government deployed him to Sierra Leone. And he ended the war in Sierra Leone too. And he was given 1 chieftaincy title in Sierra Leone. And that chieftaincy title interpretation would mean like the warrior who commanded all world battles and conquer. Then after that, he was deployed to the GOC 82 Mechanized Brigade. GOC, not Mechanized Brigade. 82 this thing in Enugu. There he was until General Sani Abacha passed on, and all the GOCs, all the top commanders were invited to to the villa that day, that they should come and have an urgent meeting with the commander-in-chief, that's with the head of state. Unknown to them, the man had passed on in the night. And Hamza Mustafa, who was the command of everything, took command of this. It is for that reason that many people still believe that Mustafa should be accorded the place of a little honor, not without thinking of the arena where he bastardized human rights, but believing that being the man who was the command and being the man, as of that moment, he could have overthrown the government of Nigeria, or he could have continued. But he did something very wisely. He did not phone Absalam Abubakar. No, he did not talk to Absalam Abubakar. Absalam Abubakar was there. Jerry Husseini was there. Jerry Husseini was already then a lieutenant general. But when the man Beme, is that English?
It is. It will soon be adopted by
Oxford Dictionary. We adopted Beme. He quickly phoned General Ibrahim Babangida and told Babangida that look what happened, what next? General Ibrahim Babangida told him that he should hand over the power to Absalam Abubakar, but not to Jerry Husseini. Because Jerry said that's why many people did not believe that Jeremiah Husseini, a lieutenant general also, who was closest friend to Sani Abacha, did not take over. Instead, it went to He could have, because when all these people arrived the villa, they were all disarmed before they went into the meeting, the so-called meeting that they were having a meeting with the. So, Major General Felix Mujaperu was one of them in that meeting that day. Now, this Seplat is operating within the kingdom of General Felix Mujaperu, the Oruge of Ukwe Kingdom. Nimasa is telling us now that it has been operating illegally since 2016. Meaning, everything about the illegality, the operational illegality of Seplat is well known to Nimasa. The question is that why would Nimasa sleep on its rights? Because Nimasa is now speaking, because Nimasa is now showing that it has the right to control this, but it avoided this. I think every chief executive, every top officer, the whole department that ought to be seeing all these oil rigs from Nimasa should be sent to jail. Or is Nimasa saying Nigeria should be clapping for them now when they told us that these people have been operating illegally since 2016? You saw them, meaning there must be conspiracy. Nimasa conspired with that illegality. The fact of the illegality is not yet in our hands because Nimasa might not be in the first level of supervision because of the professionalism associated with the oil industry. But the role that Nimasa ought to play, if Nimasa played the role, this disaster would have been avoided. So Nimasa is telling us that yes, we supervise the illegality and we have been supervising the illegality for the past
7 years.
7 years.
2016 to now.
Till now, 7 years. Nimasa should tell Nigerians what quantum of the dollar wadodo that it has collected illegally for supervising illegal activities. For being quiet when it ought to have spoken out. Because this thing, therefore, can be only be possible. This can be made possible through the gift of dollar. Is it in millions or in trillions or in billions that they've collected? So, Nimasa, I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should ask his national security advisor to probe Ito Nimasa. Nimasa is due for probing. Because if you know what is happening in Nimasa, the Nigerian Nimasa, they call it national something maritime safety and administration and safety. This.
Yes, sir.
Now that Nimasa had come to admit that we knew of it, but we closed our eyes. We pretended that we were praying. And that is why it happened like this. This disaster, Nimasa should be called to question. I remember that President Muhammadu Buhari stepped into Nimasa matter once. Again in the maritime sector. But I am not too sure that I should be able to compare the maritime sector with the oil sector that this one is coming from. Okay, let me stop it there. So, President President Bola Tinubu, please ask your national security advisor,
Malam
Ribadu, Nuhu Ribadu, to please look into, let every top executive of the Nimasa, please keep them in Kirikiri. Let judgment meet them in Kirikiri. Because they have admitted they did not just sleep. For illegal operation of this one, as they admitted for 7 years, they should tell us the amount of money, the amount of dollar that made them, that became the sleepy pea that they took and decided to go to sleep. So that is for that. Farmers abandoned 23 local governments in Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi. 23 local governments.
But sir, on that Nimasa thing, is John Obaze, Nimasa is not one of the institutions he's investigating. The one investigating the
CBN?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I think the appointment is to investigate CBN.
CBN and companies around.
And you know CBN must be examined thorough. Don't forget that the Nigeria Printing and Meeting Company, that printer,
Still, yeah,
is be looped into the investigation. It's been looped into the illegality of, allegedly anyway, into the illegality of Godwin Emefiele. So he's having his day now with not with court. Is Emefiele in court now?
Yeah, he's been taken to court.
No, but these new charges, the one of double barrel has been withdrawn.
Has been dropped, yes.
The remaining one, I don't know whether it's still in court. Did you two know how much he cried? We were told on this last
the visit. He said he was bowed. He avoided pictures.
Apart from that, even when he sat down, when they said that no issue of bail cannot be reason now because of he started crying like a baby. Then I asked myself, where was that big Bible that is larger than Rome that he carried that day? Because he would have needed about how many trailers to help him to carry that Bible? On that day, did he not become Pope, Bishop, Cardinal, GOC or GO, Emir, Godwin Emefiele with his white?
Godwin Paul or Saul.
Godwin Paul or Saul.
Emefiele. Well.
So that's for that.
Yeah,
I close it. But in Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, local government, about 2,500 people have been killed by bandits. If you read I don't want to go to the body of the story. For 23 local governments coming into existence in present-day Nigeria without farmers, at places that farmers have helped to flush out hunger from the land for years, it tells you that much still need to be done about these terrorists. Because these days, I wouldn't know how to define or the difference between the banditry, the soldiers, the terrorists, the jihadists, the headers. The new governor of Zamfara State has just declared headers as those helping the illegal miners of gold in Zamfara State. He mentioned it publicly, and that man should be able to know what he's saying. Because the young man is too rich not to know everything. He came to the governorship position with about, is it 7 trillion?
He has denied it.
He has denied it. Are the evidences of denial in front of us? Because the evidences of the denial, we have to look at the first form he filled out, or other that have been supplemented with another form. And another form is coming to breach the suspended and the operational.
But I think we should make an attempt at the FOI. And the request for the details is submitted.
You are there for during Nigeria, journalist.
No, I'm going through you.
You are true.
I'm going through you, sir. FOI.
Not carry me go up, I beg, leave me, put me for ground before I fall from your hand. Look, haven't you seen many applications forward and government officials denying, not applying?
Mr. Falano said this, he spoke about requesting.
So the issue here is 23 local governments across Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, local governments under bandits. That is not to be tolerated. How many local governments were under Boko Haram in those days, which compelled President Goodluck Jonathan to postpone election for some weeks? How many? Across, how many? 14 or thereabout. Across 3 states. How many? But today, 23 local governments across Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi. Much needs to be done. So we are not yet Uhuru. So the movement should continue. Then, Tinubu names Minister of Niger Delta, reassigned portfolios. I want to ask you one question, Olua Kayode.
Yes, sir.
George Turolong, please be helpful to me. Because this road sometimes can be so lonely. Be helpful to me. When are the cleared ministers, designate, being sworn in? When?
There are two things. They hit the ground running before they were sworn in. So they are being sworn in today.
Okay.
But they've hit the ground running.
If at the point of nomination, screening and confirmation, we know that 3 were dropped. Now, between the confirmation and the Senate sending the names of those cleared back to the presidency and be sworn in to become effectively ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because up to 12 midnight last night, they were not yet ministers. They were designated, what do you call them?
Minister designates.
Ministers designate. If now the president is now reassigning portfolio that has not been operational, there is much not to be desired in the presidency. There is a type of headache, a type of malaria, and a type of yellow fever, and maybe typhoid that is there. And this sickness, combination of these sicknesses can touch the mental stability of any individual that suffer from all these sicknesses I'm talking about. And if that is the case, who shall help us now to examine the presidency? I did not say examine president. Please, I'm picking my words. To examine the presidency. Professor Lambo, our own, one of the best psychiatrists that the whole world had ever produced from Abeokuta, is gone. Who will now help me? Can we beg Jesus Christ to come back and resurrect him the way he did with Nazareth? Because he's the only man, I believed, had the capacity to examine one individual that is suffering from malaria, typhoid, which are the other ones I counted just now?
Well, sir, Babachiri Lawal has helped you out.
Yeah?
Babachiri Lawal, he helped you, sir, with this question you're asking.
What did he say?
He said, who is presidency?
He would have said that because that was the period in his life where he was alleged to be cutting grasses. All right. So to me, and suddenly the Ministry of Niger Delta came back to life.
Surface, yes, sir.
Could it be there was a mistake or the pressure was too much? But then performing capacity of individual is seen. In some extent, when you should be a man that when you take your decision, a man of principle is taking a decision and standing by it. A man, I once told one of my very, very good friends, no. It would be an abuse of language if I call that man my friend. My father, the late General Abdullahi Sheleng, my father, he remains my father any day, anyway, even now date. And there was a day I met him in his office. He was then the managing director of the Nigeria Post Authority. He was a man I follow very, very much, right from when he was a lieutenant colonel to become a colonel, to become general, the first brigadier general, then major general. He was one of those few governors appointed by Murtala Mohammed to rule over which state, to take governors over what they call the state then? Benue. Yes, I think it's still Benue State. You know, Nazarawa, they came out of Benue.
Yes, sir.
When it was Benue State. He was one of the 12 governors that Murtala Mohammed appointed. And when he left office, Kayode, you'll be surprised to hear this. The balance in his books, his bank account, was 1,400 is it 400 shillings? I don't know. What they call it then?
Back then. Is it Kobo? It moved. It wasn't Kobo yet.
I know Kobo had to come. Either 1,400 shillings. That was the money meant in his account. The balance of his account. So he was such a very... So I went to meet him. No, I did not go to meet him in his house. I went to meet him in his so not office. I went to meet him in his house. Number 11, Temple Road. One night. So when we're talking, when somebody say, my son, Godi, I say father because we call him father. I learned that language from his colleagues that were his coursemate in the Pakistan Military Academy, because he was in the Pakistan Military Academy at the same time with Tunde Diagbon.
Okay.
The late Lieutenant General Muhammad Balarabe Haladu. From there, I knew that Tunde Diagbon, Nigeria Army number is 520.
Okay.
520. Then Abdullahi Balarabe Haladu was 521. They call him father because he was most senior.
Okay.
But he was height-wise. He balanced on the ground as a father. Now, I went to a meeting and I told him, I said, Father, I come to tell you something this night too. I said, inability to say no. He said, what does that mean? I said, ability to say approve does not make one a successful administrator. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had really sat down to scrutinize all the, thank God he nominated these people. I'm not saying that there is no room for recommendation.
Input,
you would have recommended, but at the end of the day, because the box tossed on his table, like President Truman said, the 40 what? No, not 40, 20 what? President of the United States of America, Truman, he said that the box tossed on my table. For a man that the box tossed his table, he would, before nominating, he would have scrutinized them. Then, in the first place, he would have decided that I'm not having Niger data this time. I move Niger data out. He, as the same way he created maritime and blue
economy,
which means now that the Nigeria Ports Authority, Nemasa, Island Waterways, all the remaining 5 districts are moving to that. They are leaving transport, which is a good creation. You mentioned it here once.
Yes, sir.
Which is a very, very good creation. Then that Niger data will not be there. And this one will be able to run this. I must congratulate Beta Edu again. That beautiful girl.
Humanitarian.
The humanitarian. I only believe she will operate it with every humanitarian senses the same way Sadiq Farouk operated it, where she was feeding children that were with their father in their villages with 85 billion. And nobody questioned her. This woman is more beautiful than, of course, beauty is a matter of my imagination. you may not regard her as being beautiful. So for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, when he has not sworn in the people he assigned responsibility, and now he is assigning, to me, there's confusion somewhere. And that confusion cannot be from Ajegule.
Maybe you got a divine revelation.
Divine?
My son.
Okay. My son appointed.
Move, transport.
That revelation that never, it might equally be, might be divine voice, Abi.
Yes, sir.
Called divine voice. It might be equally be divine touch.
Yeah, deep.
Divine touch. Yeah, it could be divine touch. It might be touched divinely, but divinely there will be other code. The touch there will be other code. But the thing is that it didn't speak of coherence. It didn't speak of coordinated.
Like they're well put together.
It didn't speak of articulated plan of making something happen. So that's. But let me run away. After subsidy removal, fuel consumption dropped from 64.9 million to 52 million daily. We are talking of item number 6. Am I right?
Sir. Is it 6 or 5? Yes.
It's 6.
Yes. 6.
Listener, just give me a second. I'll be there in a moment.
Nigeria Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency. Yes.
I will talk of Matawale tomorrow. And I will do something. I will post all the details of Matawale because Matawale is that Bola Tinubu minister who is to defend us now. Either for or off.
Okay, for or off.
For or off.
Okay.
Is to defend us. Matawale.
Yes. Yes.
Now is to defend us. The good thing about that appointment, I don't want to say this, but it will not take more than 2 seconds. The good thing about that appointment is that him and his boss, the Minister of State, the Minister the substantive minister and this Minister of State, none of them has any military background. None of them have any police background.
None of them has conquered bandits.
They may have gangsters background. They may have gangsters background. Matawale specifically may have, because there was a time he was dancing and whining with the bandits in the forest. The pictures surface everywhere.
Yes, sir.
And there was a time in election Nigeria that there is what we call bad terrorists and good terrorists. I remember Ruben Abati, who said that if only the man had visited the oracle, he would have known that there is nothing like bad terrorists and good terrorists.
No good one.
And of course, he has a master grade of CV. His CV speaks eloquently. He is to go but let me add this: he will not be the first person that has no background of either police, army, military, or anything that will become Minister of Defense. Okay. Kwankwaso Rabiu Kwankwaso was moved when he failed the second attempt to become a governor in Kano State. President Olusegun Obasanjo gave him that ministerial post of Ministry of Defense. Because Obasanjo told you that, Rabiu, come, you are not the person that Kano people rejected. They rejected me, but they now transfer aggression. That's what. So I will give you this. I don't know. So Matewale matter shall come later. But let us now deal with this one, which says,
which one in particular are we looking at?
Yes.
ECOWAS rejects Hunter's 3-year transition.
I think we should go there because time is no more.
Yes, sir.
It's no more in our favor. Okay. First is after subsidy removal, fuel consumption dropped. You laughed, and that speaks it all. I will bring this one back. Please remind me. Remind me.
Tomorrow or Monday?
Tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Remind me. Which one would you prefer, Monday or tomorrow?
Tomorrow works.
Okay.
So it's still fresh.
Please remind me.
All right.
Because what happened here is this. At no time from the gift of the 450,000 barrels of crude per day to be refined for Nigeria consumption, did Nigeria consume up to 40 million liters a day? Even the same group managing director of the NNPC, who is still sitting there today, told us once that we don't even know how many liters of fuel we consume in Nigeria per day. So this Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, it ought to be the name ought to be Nigeria Midstream Downstream Hellish Stream, that is hell, pit of hell, the bottomless pit stream production regulatory authority. This name should be added.
The hellish.
Where is the source of your information? There is nothing. They just hack this thing in order to make money under the name subsidy. I have taken time to explain this and explain this and explain this. And as of the time that they now said we now consume 60 million liters per day, NNPC again admitted before the National Assembly by the leadership of NNPC saying that we know that our consumption is 60 million, but we release 90.6 million every day.
30 million more.
30 million more to be taken over to neighboring countries. You see, but why is it that when they tell you, they are telling us all these lies? I want to read this to you, and I have no regret in saying it. It is because the conspiracy to keep on duping Nigeria continuously is playing out between those who appointed those that are in place of leadership of the oil industry. Those who appointed them, they are part of the conspiracy. Those that are appointed them, they have a mandate. We need to be sharing social amount on daily basis. You must bring it, whatever. So they can just wake up and tell us so thing. And those who appointed them will not challenge them. Do you want to tell me that those appointed them don't know?
Don't know.
Who had been the minister of petroleum resources for the past 8 years? Was it not Muhammadu Buhari? So Muhammadu Buhari did not know what they are doing. When Muhammadu Buhari's second name should have been appropriately, second surname should have appropriately be named Petrol. He started with Olusegun Obasanjo as the first chairman of the board of NNPC. He was his minister for petroleum resources. What is it about the petrol industry that he didn't know? So when they will now send somebody, Timi Peye Silva, under him to go and talk, whatever I talk, the man will never say, today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had taken over the petroleum resources ministry. Now he has doubled it. So minister, Lupabri of oil, this one of gas. But who is the minister? Go. Who gives the directives? Who asks the question? So what do we have there? What do we have there? It's the president. As it has been, as it was from the beginning, so shall it be until war without end in Nigeria. If you like, you can say amen to that. So, having said this, let me move to the final one, which we should have been talking about, but of course, unfortunately, there is no time. Niger, ECOWAS rejects Jota's 3-year transition. It says, please listen, the Punch are putting the story on the point. The Economic Community of West African States has rejected Niger Junta's 3-year power transition plan because they had a meeting and they said that this their plan as released have put an end that restated the like as I asked the other day. Where is that being done?
But is it possible?
Where is that? Where has that been done before? Why don't we be sincere with that? But it is all factors of beefing up the necessary instruments of bargaining, negotiation. And when the Jota now say, we will kill the man, they will not kill him outrightly there. But it's not difficult for military man to kill man because the money, the salary you pay him to kill people. You pay him salary to kill people. But so now, what they plan to push at now has shown that no way. There is nobody. The man cannot come back again. I said it last week.
He's gone and gone for good.
I said they are going to give you a program of about a year to 2 years that they will organize election.
But what they've said is it's not out of the ordinary. It's the same program that has been given to Niger, to Burkina Faso, to Mali, and to Guinea.
Yes.
Next year we expect about 2 elections. I think one in Guinea, the other in Burkina Faso.
Who said? The ECOWAS?
No, what the Niger, the junta said. Because it's what their counterparts did that they also did. They are asking for time. So it should be expected. And
what these people are fighting for, let me tell you, this ECOWAS, it's not ECOWAS, 5. Even Burkina Faso has said that they will pull out of ECOWAS. There's discord in ECOWAS now. And what these ones that are moving with speed doing, they are protecting their neck. But actually, the question I would want to ask here is this: what is coup? Because I've gone into the dictionary, I've seen the meaning of coup from too many aspects. But I am surprised when in democratic electionary processes, the choice of the people is sabotaged. It's not made known. Can we call that coup?
When you suppress the people.
When you suppress the people. When people will go out vehemently pronounce it in the public domain, saying, if you think this is the person you will vote for, don't come out. Haven't we heard that?
Yes, it sounds familiar, very familiar.
So, what do you call that? Or like the French authority that has colonized all their West Africa and everyone they capture from the one, that all their revenue must go there. They give the thing. Is that not cool against the people of West Africa? If some boys now from West Africa come to say, okay, Oga macaroni, I'll be waiting now. What's the name of that rice?
Which one is that?
Macaroni.
Mercy.
Mercy.
It's a paste.
What's the name of that rice?
It's a pasta. Macaroni.
Macaroni. What's the name of the president of? No wonder that mama they eat and raw. Mama, you know the wife is the one who taught him we can kindergarten now.
Macron.
Okay, Macron. Okay, Macron it all. Okay, Macron. Messi. Is Macron the same thing as the rice macaroni? Or what you call? Is that the same thing? Okay, that action that French had been taken against all of recent demand spoke and demanding for asking for apology. Now, is that not cool against the people? Then there's some people from these people now, from this country now say enough of so you now say no, they should. These governments, these presidents that are fighting the battle, they are fighting the battle of their lives for self-survival. Because the trend is coming. The Sahel had gained fully from this thing now. It is, yes, it is abnormal. It is not acceptable again in the world. But what is cool, is it not a reaction to injustice? If injustice is in the continuum, how would you not say that? So it is a level of injustice that met with another level of injustice and bring the saga. Cool is bad.
I was going to ask you a question, but it's good you emphasize that
cool is bad. Cool is no more in vogue. But then, what is cool?
So which means there are so many coups taking place across West Africa that ECOWAS is doing nothing about.
Let your imagination answer the question. Let your imagination answer the question. So I go back. The people have said that in 3 years we will hand over. They are forming, they want to write a constitution now, which is normal story the military will always tell us. Now, again, ECOWAS has said no way. It is part of the bargaining mechanism. They will come to a point of compromise.
Of course.
At worst, they cannot reduce the retreat, the boys going back to anything less than 2 years.
Of course. Maybe 2 years, 2 months.
You know, anything less than 2 years. Yeah. Every of these military men are not Abubakar Abdulsalam. It is for this reason that Nigerians are always willing to forgive Abubakar Abdulsalam for whatever that happens.
But sir, have you wondered why our former president, Muhammadu Buhari, is not part of the emissary, is not part of the team going into Niger?
What you send a wrong man? This is a man who admitted to you plainly, boldly, and he spoke the truth that his cousins, every citizen of Niger is my cousin. And he told you when he was leaving office that if trouble happened as a result of this election, that Niger Republic will accommodate him, will cross over. And let us face one fact. Is it because the law were not laid down in Nigeria? Was Muhammadu Buhari not a coupist?
All things are past.
All things gone.
Behold, there is a new.
So we are one of those government in Nigeria that brought away history. That they say they must not read history again.
No, he just left as a president, a civilian president.
Does that brought out the historical build-up we left behind?
It doesn't. But what can we do to all of them right now? What can we do to all of them?
Nothing now. The first National Assembly came and they met the way they say all of them are entitled to lifetime pension, lifetime. Okay, now, the question is this. The ECOWAS has said no, but the people have said this. And meaning, the chiefs, the military chiefs of this ECOWAS, they are preparing for storming. But including Pope, what's the name of this?
Pope Francis?
Come on, if you name me, say you are the deputy Pope in Africa and Russia affairs.
Pope Francis?
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Because
Francis.
Otherwise, you abdicate your throne. Now, has said no. The question I want to ask is this. The man who spoke on behalf of ECOWAS said earlier they give power back to civilians and concentrate on their primary responsibility, that is defending the territory integrity of Nigeria, the better for them. Meanwhile, presidential protesters on Sunday took to the streets of Niamey to restate their support for the military takeover, and the protest was massively attended to. All these are flukes. That's what they do. In the so-called civilian democratically elected election, don't we see how people carry placards, say, we support this one? The other day, the people not protest to the National Assembly that the subsidy remover, the movement of the remover petrol fuel from 500 to 600 naira, we support it to the National Assembly. Did any person talk to them? But when the Labour want to go and protest, then I heard the Inspector General of Police first of all talking before he remembered that his statement was unconstitutional. So what the military are doing then, mobilizing the people to protest on their behalf. The so-called civilian government elected that went through election processes, they do the same thing. But coup is overruled. It's not the answer. But what is coup? Back to Nigeria. I may not have up to 2 minutes to talk of this. I don't know. This enemy, can't we push this enemy away? Which is time.
I wish there's a way around it.
Because we need to ask questions. The question is that. The question and not the question we ask and the answer is the historical perspective. The likely implication of the looming war against Niger Republic. What is the implication for Nigeria? Please, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yes, you wear the two caps. I don't blame you. And you need to fight these battles in order to dissuade Nigerians that may be having thought like their Nigerian counterparts, Malians counterpart, Burkina Faso's counterpart, not to think of it. Yes, I will stand on the top of the mountain and I will tell Nigerian military, cool, no way. It cannot happen. It must not happen. It's no more. But sir, don't ever push ECOWAS, because Nigeria will carry 80% of the responsibility into war. What are the implications? One, if you send Nigeria into war, meaning you send 7 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to open their borders and tell their Nigerian counterpart, move in here, you have protection, and that will be a doom for Nigeria. The leader of the coup, Shiani, the name sounds very much like Chinese name. The leader of the coup married from Kebbi State, and Kebbi State border the place. Sokoto, all of their border. That is one implication. Another implication is that the stoppage of electricity to Niger Republic we have shot ourselves by very dangerous weapon. Now, Niger did something. First of all, the electricity you cut off. The issue of the electricity made it mandatory. It's not discretionary. And the issue of the electricity goes back to 1960s. When a contract was signed that, okay, don't damn it, because we do this, then we'll be supplying this. Then 2, they pay for it. Either they owe you or they don't owe you, they are paying for it legally. 3, now that you short electricity against them, they've taken only one thing. They have option also. Not that any option they will give will make Nigeria to be the loser, no. But the far-reaching consequences is what we are looking at, talking to you, Mr. President. So this is a statement to you. Now they've shut their airspace against us. Meaning, if you are traveling to Europe or whichever place you are going to now, you are going to pay more as a passenger. And I will tell you, when you take off from Lagos, if you are going to London, whichever place you are going, you go through Kano, blah 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 blah. Then you exit through Maiduguri side. Then you cut the first country you are cutting across is through Niamey, that is Niger Republic.
Okay.
And then from Niger Republic you move on until you go to Algeria, blah blah, from where you exit to Spain to come out, which is 6 hours. But now that they've closed their airspace, no plane can make from here to London in 6 hours anymore. Because you cannot cross their airspace. And don't forget, they have one of the largest land space in the whole of Africa. 1,200,000 something thousand miles square. Now, the only alternative we have, where is my this thing? I would have brought it. It's a pity. I would have shown it. The only alternative we have now that when you take off from your Lagos, you must avoid Niger Republic. You must avoid it, because if your plane goes there now, they can shoot the plane down, because their airspace is closed down, and aviation regulation tells you avoid such a place. Now you can little shift to go through Mali, but Mali have even sent their jet bombers, and maybe they have 2.5.
So they've opened up their country now.
But Burkina Faso, they send their, they have 1.5 plane. The third one I was told has 2 tires as a now they send everything to. So if you not deviate, say you going to fly to Mali, it will not take time for Mali to join them. And where do you cross? Really, you can go through Ghana and cross the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, there is no the aviation maps does not exist into Europe by crossing ocean. It is where you are living, like you are living Europe. You want to go to America, that you must cross the ocean. Otherwise, if you are flying from here to London, flying from here to Amsterdam, flying from here to Paris, flying from here to anywhere, you don't cross any ocean. Now the question is this: how do you go now? You come through Benin Republic, you go to Ghana. Therefore, Ghana, where do you exit to? And because the people will target Nigeria more, because they know that Nigeria is the spinal cord of the movement, so they will use everything. That is what that. Then the concentration of uranium, and uranium is the only one thing that every power-seeking country in the world is looking for today, and they have more than enough to certify the whole world. So it is no big deal that the representative of Putin, the man who controls what's the name of that? Zag what? Anyway, the mercenaries. The mercenaries, yes. They have visited Republic of Benin from Mali, because they are there in Mali, they are there, and the Sahel will be gone. So we have too much to lose. Mostly these aircraft, because you can't go through Libya, because Libya is a dangerous place. There's crisis in Libya. So every airplane flying all over the world, they avoid, except you are going to Libya. You seek a permission to land in Libia.
We can go through Ethiopia.
How do you, your neighbor is here, where do you cross?
Cross to Ethiopia, go to the Horn of Africa.
Before you get to the Cameroon, you not go to maneuver to Chad? Go to aviation. Go to aviation. Use the ocean now. When you take off from London, if you are going to America, whichever part of America you go, how many hours are you on the ocean? How many hours? Sometimes you are 6 hours on the ocean. So which ocean are you going to go across now?
Wagner Group.
Wagner Group. Yeah. They are there. So all this come together. Let us look for a peaceful means. Augasta, I know you are saving your head, because ẹ̀ṣíwájú tó jì sí kòtò kó àwọn yòókù tó bọ̀ lọ́gbọ́n fóònù wẹ́wẹ́ rìtù wọn ní ẹ̀yìn ní ìbúwé rẹ̀ míkè burúkú ẹ̀mẹ́mẹ́ra bíkó òfin awárin president awárin ẹ̀mẹ́mẹ́ra bíkó.
Is it
bíkó is different from bíkó. Bíkó only Igbo will tell you bíkó then bíkó ọ̀yìnbó.
What does bíkó mean?
Ọ̀yìnbó please, my people come in. Open the line. Open the line.
All right, let's go straight and open up the phone lines and get to hear from you right now. What are you saying to the issues on the ground? What are you saying to Mr. President? Let's take some WhatsApp messages. The lines, the WhatsApp portal is full of messages. Mini, mini, mo. Good morning, Oluwakari and the Guru. My name remains Maxwell Unzam, the social commentator. Sudden reshuffling of the yet to be inaugurated Tinubu's cabinet says a lot about the president's unpreparedness and incompetence for the job he desperately sought for. And today is just experimenting what I call trial by error. As for the destruction of the billboards bearing all eyes on the judiciary by the federal government, there's an Igbo proverb which says that when a chicken desecrates the land will chase after it. Think about it. Okay? Good day to you. So there are good bandits and there are bad bandits is now the Minister of State for Defense. Okay, Mister, there are good bandits and there are bad bandits, now the Minister of State for Defense.
Yes, sir.
I think it's high time we appoint some of the good bandits as his advisors on bad banditry affairs.
That will not be possible.
In order to eliminate the bad bandits amongst them. Rashid from Ajegunle. Good morning, Oluwakari and Daddy Guru. Daddy Guru, I would always subscribe for civilian government, but not exactly the one we're practicing in Nigeria today. Guru, I want to ask a few questions. Can insurgency, banditry, unknown gunmen, and killer headsmen be thriving if military is in power? What about great patriotic soldiers whose demise were avoidable? During military, can insecurity stop our farmers from going to their farms or our patriots being killed across the country? They now made our soldiers to look like cockroaches because the mother hen in the face of insurgency. I am not advocating for military takeover, but if it's of truth that 2 is greater than 1, but 1 is older than 2, I rest my case. James from Agbado Junction. James, your parables, I don't get it. Good morning, Uluakade and Guru. Methinks the major reason why Abdul Salam was chosen to take over was simply because he was the next in command since Zia was in detention. Abdul Salam was the CDS who was heading the joint services while Jerry was the Minister of FCT, a position that made him junior in hierarchy to the CDS at Ebanji. Good morning, Daniel from Festac. They're saying those 20-something tank farms in Satellite Town chased me out of Satellite Town to Festac because you won't be able to access your house, but now disappeared. Thank God for subsidy removal. Sake, please don't set that the Guru up. Okay, I won't. Alright, this is the last message we'll take for this morning so we can open up the phone lines. Good morning, Daddy Guru and Sake. Positive Nigerian release Bawa or charge him to court. Please, Nigerian government fix Nigeria with insecurities and economic growth before taking advantage of other man's land. How can a useless... Okay, that's a strong word. You're talking about...
our languages, please.
Yeah, you're talking about how Nigeria should not leave its homeland, go to another space. I understand. So that is noted. Let's go to the phone lines right now. 0809-234-5913. 0809-222-0913. Women only number. 0809-191-3913. Hello, caller. Morning, sir.
Yeah, Guru, good morning and everybody. Good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Yeah, Guru, you did a very good analytical perspective this morning. As you are known to be, by the way, you are known to do. Now, you talk about Somali, Niger. Now, the thing is, you make it clear and direct that all these ECOWAS people, who are the ECOWAS, if not Nigeria, they are trying to save themselves. By the way, some of them are there due to the civilian coup, the threatened, and they are saving themselves or saving their faces and all that.
All right.
Well, these people are whoever ECOWAS or whoever answers ECOWAS or whichever countries are made up, they should talk about good governance first and foremost, and then let the electoral system be allowed to go through democracy.
All right. Okay. Oh, so sorry about that, but let's keep our calls to 1 minute. Hello, caller. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
That's not too good.
This is the first time I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
My bear.
I want to see.
Hold on. Your name.
Face to face.
Excuse me.
What's your name, man?
What's your name?
So that I know.
What's your name, ma?
My name is Candy Bullet.
Sandy.
Candy.
Lapata.
Okay.
Yes.
I've just celebrated you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. What you are, I'm praying for Daddy Guru. And I have many things to tell him concerning some organizations. But I would like to see him in private. So he should send the appointment letter for me.
All right.
I can tell him because I don't want it to be recorded.
Okay, no problem. You will let you see him in private. We'll let you see him in public, but not in the studio. So we'll arrange a meeting, but do listen in. There's a number that he announces at the end of the show. So when you hear the number, just pick the number.
I
and
will
reach
permit
out.
you to call me, so write the number down.
Yes.
Not in the other room, not in the dark room of photographer.
Yes, no private meetings. Public meetings.
But I will call the number. Please write it
yeah.
down so you can talk to me later.
Please do. All right, back to the phone lines, yeah? Hello, caller, good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Yeah, Baba, good morning, sir.
I salute you, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Arinji. Kayode.
Yes, sir.
You see, what is the essence of government? What is government? Government is supposed to be about the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, does it mean that people don't have the right to decide the type of government they want to run? If they want a military government or democracy? Look, let me tell you something, Kayode.
Yes, sir.
If democracy is the one that decides that we're practicing in Nigeria, I think I will choose military all over again.
No,
All
sir.
right.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I take that back.
Okay.
10 seconds, wrap up, please.
Yeah, yesterday, people that went for all eyes of the judiciary work, some of them were arrested, some of them were beaten, some of them, their neck was broken.
All right, then. Thank you so much for that. We don't have much time. We're trying to get as many calls in as possible, so please let's keep it within 1 minute. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Good morning to you. My name is Peter Monse from Shomolu.
Peter Umonse.
That's it. Not 1 minute yet. Now, Oluwa Kayode,
Yes, sir.
the Guru told us that Major General or whatever, Lieutenant General Shellen, that was the military administrator of Benue State, when he finished, 100 and something thousand shillings in his account.
1,300 shillings. I mean,
Can you imagine 1,300 shillings? And today, Prime Minister is telling us that ex-governors are richer than their state. That the military government that we demonize, they save money. The civilian government, politician government squander the money. Let me tell ECOWAS that 23 local governments in Nigeria are controlled by bandits. That is also a coup. That ECOWAS should send their forces to come and help Nigeria to remove bandits from our farms.
All right, Peter Monse. All right, thank you so much for your call this morning. I do appreciate your call.
this commander is
All right, we've run out of time, but let's just take one or two messages to wrap up. Good morning to you, Daddy Guru and Daddy G, talking about coup when will Bola Tinubu wage war on Professor Yakubu Mahmoud who raised his hand in the middle of the night when sweet souls were asleep, or is that one not also a coup too? Well, good morning. As for the coup in Niger, your house is burning and you're chasing after rats in your neighbor's house. This is what your president is doing because of eye service and let them see me as if I'm not working. Since he came in, more than 700 people have been killed. Quite a long message. We can't read it all. And lastly, okay. Good morning, Oluwa Kayode and Able Guru. ECOWAS' name is different from their activities. Their name begins with economic, but they never go to each of the West African countries with poor economy and huge solid minerals to find out the cause or look for a way out of the poverty and poor economic bedeviling their member state. They are always quick to react when coup happens due to poor management of economy without even doing investigation on the cause. Maybe they should change their name to Military Community of West African States. Chief Udo.
Here we are. Oh, but for this enemy. This is time. This is time. Okay, we want to appreciate you. We'll continue this good work we are doing here. And even if you fail to clap for us today at Lagos Talks 91.3 FM, you must clap for us tomorrow, because the revelation will be mostly this segment. Oluwa Kayode and the Guru. They are not to be seen everywhere. They are good. And for you to get good, you have to dig deep. Your instrument of digging deep could be distressed sometimes, but the fact that you have your aim to get to the point where you pick the gold and make good use of it. So that's what we are doing with us. We want to appreciate you. Now, follow me at X, former Twitter. Follow me at S, Godwin_Bribu. Godwin_Bribu. Facebook is Godwin Itaki Bribu. Then there is a page created in Facebook. Please join and follow that page. It's called Vitra Column. VETEREN. The cap is, the V is capital letter. The C of the column is capital letter. Column. Then you follow me on where now? Go to my website. Okay. For the past 4 weeks or so, I have been so lazy because of exigency of many other things that I'm going through. I've been going through some stress, but it's not my duty to put that as a burden on the people. Let us have the joyful aspect of God. That is the Guru. Let's have his joyful aspect. But from this afternoon, I resume posting things back. Why the Matawali may be finding it difficult a little to defend us as the Minister of State for Defense, we land the website before 5 p.m. And the website is www.godwintheguru.com. Then you go to my YouTube channel, it's Godwin the Guru. You will be exposed to a lot of revelations. These are with quotation and everything coming and going. And of course, the number, Madam, what's her name?
Candy or Sandy.
Okay, Candy or Sandy. Madam, please, have you picked your Bible and paper? I will read it with my own tone, not Oluwa Kayode tone, which will be too faster for even an Englishman to catch up with. 0906 887 0014. One more time. 0906 887 0014. That is it. For you, Madam Candy, I permit you to call on me. But any other person's short messages that you should drop there. What again that is remaining for me?
You said you are following your ex.
I've said so.
You said you're following your ex.
I said follow me on X.
This thing can destroy marriages, sir. Imagine your husband say, I'm following my ex. What are you doing with your ex? You are married to me now. Why are you looking at your ex?
I'm not married to you. Since I don't know. Same. You are looking like President Biden now.
I'm being hypothetical.
That's why we not give them place in Africa. God forbid my thing. Not in Africa.
I'm being hypothetical. I'm sounding like your wife.
Kayode, thank you very much for a good job. Mercy, thank you very, very much. Peace, thank you very, very much. The man who come from Israel will remain in Israel. Thank you very, very much for the camera that are functioning well. Now that I did heal all of them, see in the camera they heal themselves. They heal themselves. Please, Mafia star. Okay, until tomorrow is another day for Morning Digest, of course. But the heavier ones will always be coming on Monday. Until then, please keep yourself out of trouble. Bye.